Ladies and gentlemen, I have some breaking bowling ball news. Now, this is a few weeks late, and a lot of you may have noticed, but Motiv has changed their ball guide. They have discontinued 2 bowling balls over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to get into those and see what it really means for the future releases for Motiv bowling, because Motiv is fairly predictable with when they discontinue a ball, they generally replace it with something to fill that slot. This ball guide, my favorite thing for any bowling ball company. Other bowling ball companies, please start creating this. It would be awesome. This thing is awesome where you can see a ball getting discontinued and then you can see it being replaced very soon after. So, for example, we're going to talk about the 2 bowling balls and show one of them has already been replaced. The 2 bowling balls that have been discontinued are the Motiv Jackal Ambush and the Motiv Blue Coral Venom. We're going to start with the Jackal Ambush though. The Jackal Ambush was around since, I believe, early 2023, I believe January of 23. Super strong, super early bowling ball, one of the earliest hooking bowling balls in the game. However, it was just recently discontinued. Reviews were fairly mixed on it. A few Motiv people really liked it for longer and heavier conditions, but mostly it wasn't really that usable in League. When it was polished, it was pretty good, but when it was dull, it just was way too strong for most conditions. But now, as you can see, that brand new Jackal Onyx has already replaced it. This Jackal Onyx is really just an evolution of that Jackal Ambush. Slightly different solid cover stock, same exact Jackal core that everybody knows and loves, but this one's going to be hopefully a little more dynamic is what Motiv is pushing. It's a little sharper, around the same spot for hook potential and where it hooks on the lane though. So that Jackal Ambush has already been replaced. It was almost like a week or two after the retirement, after the discontinuing, that they announced the Onyx. So really good to see from Motiv that they're already filling that top slot in the bag. Originally, before this, you had the Sub-Zero Forge and the Raptor Fury as the top 2 hooking bowling balls outside of that ambush. And that isn't the best because they're both symmetrical. You do want a big ASIM in that slot. So now we have this nice little quadfecta. Instead of the Ambush, Raptor, Forge, and Evoke, we have the Onyx, the Raptor, the Forge, and Evoke. So rest in peace to the Jackal Ambush. It will still be sold at distributors until quantities run out. So if you really liked the Ambush and you don't want to get the Onyx, which is a bold call, but you do you, you can still get them over at Bowlers X, Bowlers Mart, from your local pro shop if they can still find them at distributors like classic bowling products. But let's talk about the second one, because in my opinion, this one's a little bit more impactful and showcases the future of what Motiv's coming out with up next. So we have this big empty slot between the Venom Shock and the Hyper Venom that the Blue Coral Venom used to reside in. May the Blue Coral rest in peace. I have its page up to showcase a little bit. What this ball was the asymmetrical gear core that has really been liked by a lot of people. It's in both the Black Venom and the Blue Coral Venom. It's a really cool numbers, insanely weak asymmetrical core. I think this is an awesome idea for Motiv. I see the Blue Coral all over the place. It's used on a ton of conditions, short, long, easy, hard, everywhere. Really, really good bowling ball. Really sad to see it go. But what I noticed is, I'm a little bit zoomed out right now, but the release date was back in 2022. This ball has secretly been around for over 2.5 years. That is like this ball being 105 years old in bowling ball years. That is crazy that it's been around that long, especially as an asymmetrical ball. So sales must have been really good. I'm very sad to see it go. This thing was really cool. It had coercion MFC hybrid cover stock, so that got it through the first couple feet of the lane, made it a little sharper down lane, but it still had that gear core to it, so it was still very smooth. Splash pins around really well. Overall colorway was gorgeous, absolutely awesome. Motiv outdid themselves on this one. Very sad to see it go. Some other numbers, if you guys want to remember the specs of it: a 2.47 RG, 0.36 differential, and an 0.13 intermediate differential, so very, very mild asymmetrical core. One of the weakest asymmetrical cores in bowling to this date. Very sad to see it go. When we look at the ball guide, it fit between the Venom Shock and the Hyper Venom, below the Liberty, above the Max Thrill line. So there is a gap there now. Now there is a lot in this category. Like, we have all the Venoms, but I have seen reports that there might be a new Venom ball coming soon-ish. Some people thought it was a hybrid. I might be overseas, might be domestic. I'm not really sure, but there is hopefully going to be something that fills that slot. This weaker Venom line is probably Motiv's bread and butter, in my opinion. Their two best lines in bowling are going to be this second line where it has the Sub-Zero, the Evoke, the Primal, and the Forge. Throw the other Primal in there too. That one's awesome. And then this second from the bottom line with all of the Venoms. Any Venom ball is going to be really, really good. So I hope they bring back that asymmetrical Venom core, but with maybe a different hybrid cover stock. Because if we look at the Hyper Venom, it does have, drumroll please, it has the propulsion cover. So that came with the Super Rally and the Nuclear Forge. So that is more downlane motion, a medium end cover stock, kind of like this Primal Rage had the propulsion FYJ, that 15-year journey one. So that propulsion cover is really what Motiv is focusing on right now, which is cool. That's good. So hopefully they use a propulsion hybrid cover stock for this new Venom, or they could go to the Pride Liberty, and this has dynamic. Oh, that one also has propulsion. It's dynamic propulsion though, so it's a cleaner one than the Pride Dynasty, yet assertive down lane, yet the usual stuff. So a medium of the road hybrid stock cover stock. I could see them doing that, grabbing this Pride Liberty cover that is pretty good, and then putting it on a new Venom. So hopefully that's what we see next. But that is our big bowling news of the week. We have two discontinued balls from Motiv. May they rest in peace, the Jackal Ambush and the Blue Coral. If you want to buy them and you feel like you're going to miss them and you want a new one, you can still buy them for at least a couple of months before inventory starts going down. I don't know what price that Jackal Ambush will end up selling at. When a ball gets discontinued, its price usually drops or raises by a bunch. It never usually stays the same. I could see that ambush dropping because we have this new Onyx, but that Blue Coral was really well liked, so I could see that price jumping a bit. So I would grab them before they're gone if you're a big fan of it. Otherwise, hopefully we have a new ball coming in for that Blue Coral, and then we already have the Onyx for the Jackal. So I personally recommend getting the Onyx instead of getting a new ambush. But that is all I have for bowling ball news for the day. Thank you guys for watching so much. Make sure to drop a sub if you haven't already. It helps me out a ton. And then you get notified next time any new bowling news goes live. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day and see you on the next one.